So you guys should be ashamed of yourselves.
Trust me, I am.
Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed in myself.
I've been disgusted with myself for 37 years. Oh, are we recording?
Yeah.
Quick announcement, because I got another message. Guys, Patreon is fucking us, okay? So basically, if you up your donation, make sure you unsubscribe and resubscribe at the higher tier, because just upping your donation somehow locks you up. You don't get those higher level tiers. Now, we're trying to take care of that, but in the meantime, the best thing you can do is just email Patreon support. That we are going to take care of that, because we got a couple new messages this week. We're going to take care of that. We're trying to take care of it, but in the meantime, just email Patreon and say this doesn't make sense. I'm at the $15 level and not in the $15 tier, and they should switch you right over. But we will also try and take care of it on our end. That's a bullshit thing Patreon has established. So sorry about that for those you guys that upped your donations, and we appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, man, we're locked in a court battle right now with Patreon. Yeah. So I don't think we're not fighting it on our end.
Yeah.
We've hired the best lawyers that money can buy during this pandemic.
Any ethnicity. You know, we're not going to pick an ethnicity of a lawyer. I just go with the best one.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. That is
I know some people who pick them, you know, and I don't do that.
Yep. And that's how we ended up with our white supremacist lawyer, who's damn good, but we do not stand by his other beliefs.
It's a meritocracy.
I do not stand behind his evenings.
Man, I guess. Yeah.
Day job only. We stand by him. The guy does good work.
His words, keep your enemies close, whatever that expression is. That's why he became a lawyer, because unfortunately a lot of lawyers are Jewish people. His words.
Dude, this ballot thing is kind of funny, because Tina had to fill out her ballot, her mail-in ballot, and it came down to, like, in our area, there's 2 judges, and we know nothing about who the people who are running to be judges
I'll tell you all about them.
But there's one Italian and one Greek, and I was like, all right, do I go with the Italian or the Greek? Like, that's the only information I have. Do I go with the Italian or the Greek? And I was like, well, I don't want to be racist, but then that's forcing me to pick the Greek. You know what I mean? It's like not trying to be racist is making me racist. So then I said, Tita, we got to just Google these people and see what they're about.
Yeah. I went through this dilemma as well, and then I thought to myself, do I trust an Italian? And I went, no. So I picked a Greek because I know too many untrustworthy Italians.
I don't know why you guys even think that's an issue. You are in Astoria, Queens. You should just write in, this isn't even a vote. Come on, get real.
What's happening.
There's a Greek guy. Yeah, come on.
You gotta see the names on the ballot. It's the same 2 people over and over again. It's like Kostakanos versus Jimmy Avarella. Everything across the board. And like, I did the same thing last night, Greg. I watched an hour debate on Zoom of our I think it was I want to say Assembly, could be Congress.
Gianaris?
No, Gianaris, I was like in the bag. He got back to me right away in an email. I was like, that guy's in.
Okay, so I know. So I'll pick Gianaris. Just that helps me with.
Gianaris.
I can pick Gianaris.
We're all Gianaris guys.
Go in on Gianaris, but man, try to watch this Zoom debate that was held a week ago, and you will feel like I'm gonna run. It's because it's the lowest league of politics.
Yeah, and
it's like watching high school basketball. It's like some of these people might move on and become president, but it's like this is the beginning of their career. Man, some of their not just their answers, but their bedrooms themselves.
Oh, because you can see their bedrooms.
Yeah. It's unbelievable,
dude.
Man.
Local level politics is so funny. It's like, who's that lady? Oh, just my mom's friend. That's who. Just my mom's friend Nancy is just on the city council. What are her qualifications? I don't know. She seems nice.
Yeah. I watched this guy, Siraj, in a suit and tie, coiffed hair, looking like Indian Obama,
Yeah.
unmade bed behind him. It was so funny to me. Just like talking about like, here's what we're gonna do to clean up the city. I was like, man, you can't even clean up your room. This is unbelievable.
Dude, what's great about local politics too is for a lot of these, like one guy I'm voting on literally because he wrote his name on chalk in my street.
Yes.
And I was like,
Zoran?
Zoran, hell yeah,
I'm
man.
all in on Zoran, man.
That guy is tagging up the whole town in chalk, and I'm like, I guess you win.
It's
God
literally, it's literally school elections. It's like who has the better posters? Who's promising to up the fare in the vending machines? Because that's who I'm voting for.
Yes, there are two people. Go ahead, Greg.
I was gonna say we could probably get Zoran on the podcast. We probably should.
100% can get Zoran. We could have gotten any candidate that's running for Queens anything on the podcast. I bet we can even get I bet we can get the borough president to play a character. That's how little. I looked at one guy. There's one race in particular. I don't even know what it's for. The other things, it's like, okay, Judge. I've heard of Judge. Then it got down to two people.
Oh, you mean like a judge, or the guy's name was Judge? Like I know what a judge does.
Like I know what a judge does.
Right,
So I was like, okay, I can picture what they might do. I can picture a congressman in assembly. Like I can kind of picture that stuff. But there was two people running. Honestly, I think they were just running for best guy in Queens. I looked at their this one guy's Twitter, he's trying to be a politician. His Twitter name is like Tony Tone Tones. He has 500 Twitter followers. He's literally, he in his bio, it says like running for Queen something, Cuban, Yankees fan, Jets fan, like fuck if you don't like white men can't jump. It's just fan. Like you're in politics. It was just, it's awesome. I'm all in on local politics. It's so great.
Well,
you can
and
make
like,
change there.
You can. But keep in mind, that's Queens. Like Queens, if you took Queens by itself, it would be one of the bigger cities in the country, you know? Like imagine what's going on in like the suburbs of Milwaukee local politics. Like cuz Queens is pretty big time compared to like, you know, like
totally.
Some like the Chagrin Falls near where I grew up.
Yeah.
There's a town in South Dakota where a guy is just running against his wife, and the only one voting is his dog. You know, it's like, come on, Barky, I give you treats. You gotta vote for me for town congressional comptroller.
His kids are running campaigns like, you don't want to vote for Marie. Bedtime, 9:30. How does that sound for the town?
Yeah.
There was something else that was so funny too. Fuck, man, I lost it. God damn it. No, this is what I was saying. A lot of these people, they're not from New York. Like these are people outside of New York who have moved here, who are running. Dude, what you're saying, we could go to Chagrin Falls, and you're looking at the mayor, town councilman, town judge, borough president.
No, here's the problem. There's only one problem.
What?
The guy who made Calvin and Hobbes lives there, so that guy's got the
Bill
politics. Bill Watterson's got the politics on lock. Who's not going to vote for the creator of Calvin and Hobbes?
Yeah, obviously we don't stand a chance against him, but also a great way for us to promote our podcast. We just slip it in.
Oh, right. Then we get the 10 people who live there to listen.
Hey, I'll get jobs.
Just write our name on chalk. What we should do.
I'm here.
By all the vote for Zohan chalk writings, we should write brought to you by the Rad Dudecast. Just like get on him. Like if you like Zohan, you're gonna love our podcast.
That's a great idea. It's a great. We would give him a bump. We have more followers than this guy does.
Dude,
we would actually be helping him.
Do you remember how to spell his name? I gotta look him up. Dude, he actually is
I know.
He's actually good. He's actually great.
Actually good. Zohran. My man Zoran, just like the Adam Sandler movie. And you do not mess. Well, I'll tell you what. He overlooked something. He should have went, you do not mess with this Zoran.
Yeah. I wonder like,
oh my God.
If there was a Go ahead, Greg.
No. Go ahead, Brendan. I'm sorry.
If there was a point where in his campaign meetings where they were just like, all right, what's the marketing budget? And he was just like, how much is chalk? Because that's that's the full budget. Just chalk. How much chalk can we get? Because we're just writing my name on every sidewalk in Queens.
Smart though, because a lot of people, if you're looking down your shoes, you're sad and you're disillusioned. who do you see pop up? But Zoran, the savior.
Yeah.
Now, I got a question for you guys. Maybe Anthony shouldn't answer this. I just want to do a quick blind test for the bet. Who has more followers on Twitter? Zohan or Anthony?
Oh, Anthony, for sure.
Colbert.
Who has
American
more?
Life.
Who has more Twitter followers?
Reel 'em off,
Zohan or me?
You, by far.
You.
Okay, Zohan's right in the middle. That guy's got like 30 more followers than me and like 100 less than Anthony.
Just keep me on my toes. I better get out there and tweet more. I can't.
That's not bad. I thought he was going to have like a 200. I thought he was going to be a small timer.
You want to look up a small timer? Look up Antonio Alfonso Jr. He's got 600. This is the guy that's running for God knows what in Queens. I think he just made something up. He's running against his friend for some reason. That guy's got next to no followers. And, man, this is great, man. I watched a full hour Zoom debate, and they all just agreed with each other. And it was so funny, man. It was just great.
Did you see Marie Cabrera, my enemy, my worst enemy? The
No.
lady I did a Twitter post because it really pissed me off.
Oh,
But
yeah.
she did an ad that said she's going after AOC, and she was like,
Sorry.
AOC has a failed business and still owes the government $2,000 while she lives in a high-rise rich apartment. And it's like $2,000. I'll pay that. No one cares about $2,000. Clearly, that was the only thing you can find on this woman to like take her out because she's also running for a Democrat or whatever. So I was like, let me look up this lady and see what her deal is. I watched her like main speeches, and her videos have less views than my skate videos. Not my stand-up. Videos of me rollerblading have done more than this lady has.
I saw that, and it's such a pathetic stretch to go after someone for $2,000 in unpaid taxes, because you have no idea what that could be about. That could be that she could be fighting that. She could be that could be in the auditing process. It's $2,000. It's like fucking. You know how many congressmen haven't paid taxes in 38 years? Like $2,000, and you think that's an attack ad? Like Lindsey Graham it probably hasn't paid taxes ever.
Yeah. Do you know
$2,000? Man, that is the cheap end of a boy prostitute for a lot of these things.
Yeah.
But you know, they clearly just had to find something. And then probably found something she didn't even know about. So that's like if you were running against me for podcast champion, it's like, did you know Greg owns Joe List $17 from a road trip they did 20 years ago? Who's looking at you, shitty comic Greg? It's like,
Best part too is there's that stupid picture of AOC. They picked the dumbest picture.
Yeah,
I love that picture.
Her eyes are all bulgy and shit. Yeah.
She's doing this like doink, but it's like she looks so cute in it. It's like I just want to hug her. I don't know what she stands for, but man, she is a cutie patootie.
She stands
Bernie
for a
likes her.
smile on my face.
Yeah.
Is she spoken for? What's her deal?
Yeah.
She is, yeah.
She's a boyfriend who don't do shit. You can take him out. You're married.
Yeah. Did you ever see that documentary, Knock Down the House? Knocking down the house?
Taking down the house?
Taking down the house. They do something with a house. But her husband, I think it's her husband, he's featured in the documentary. He's the kind of guy, gives you inspiration because you're like, oh, all right, like I could do that. You know what I mean?
He's a cuck or a cuck master? Definitely a cuck.
Well,
if you
hard to tell without a test, Greg. Until I get lab results back, next to impossible.
That'd be great if Dr. Chingy just came in and went, "Oh, your cholesterol's up," and also it came back, "You're a cuck."
That's the new.
I have to tell you this.
That's the new blood test.
100%.
You don't have COVID, but you're a cuck master 2000, and I'm gonna prescribe you 6% pussy juice or whatever. I couldn't finish that joke.
If you don't think Cangitas is using COVID as a means to try to go on dates with patients, you're crazy. You know what I mean? Just to be like, hey, I got your results back, and you are positive. Turns out I've got the antidote. So only one way to get it: Italian dinner.
Italian dinner.
Me.
Let me ask you guys this: Do you two
frog splash?
do you two switch doctors as a team Because you used to be with, you both used to be with Aristotle or what was it?
It's the same
Socrates.
guy.
Socrates.
Kangidas is Socrates.
Yes.
Oh, Kangidas is
Yeah.
That's his last
Socrates.
name.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
Finkel is a man.
Yeah.
Tita and I both switched doctors to this guy, Dr. Drummond, who looks like Mr. Drummond from that show with remember Different Strokes.
Yeah.
His name is the same, and he looks like him, and he is the most he has more dementia. Dude, I walk in, he goes, "Who are you? Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm Greg, I'm your patient." He goes, "Patient? I have no patience." And I was like, and he's so like the guy doesn't know what he's doing. I told him I was like, what I usually do for my doctors is I give them layups. I call Dr. Mike first, and then he will pre-diagnose me. And I go, "Hey, look, my friend Dr. Mike said this. This is what he thinks it is, but no big deal. Why don't you do your workup? Let me know what you think." Mike was like, he thinks I have some kind of herpes in my ears or something, some weird like thing that's affecting me. And the doctor goes, "I've never heard of that." I was like, "You've never heard of it?" "Well, I looked it up and it does exist. And another doctor told me about it." It just goes, I gotta get new. So I'm looking for new doctors if you got one out there. Drebin is not helping me out.
I like a doctor. Go ahead, Anthony. I cut you off.
Oh, no. I was going to say, my lady is great. I think it's Carizzi.
Yeah, you gotta send me that info, man. You gotta send that info to me, man. I've been asking.
And it's great because you can do a conference with her, and then it's just like we're on a FaceTime date.
Yeah, hell yeah. Cheating on your girl.
No, but you're not.
I know, because she's a doctor, but you still get to show your dick.
She demands.
If there's
She demands it. I wanted nothing to do with it. But Brendan, go ahead. I actually didn't even want to say that thing about.
I don't think Brendan
Brendan.
I don't even say that. You just threw it to Brendan. But go ahead.
No,
Brendan.
I forgot, but I want Brendan to go first because then I wanted to tell you about my old dermatologist after that.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Did he have something? You had something?
I thought I had something. Yeah, I thought I had something, but I got nothing, man.
I thought Anthony just threw to you on the pressure, on the spot.
No.
I think this beeping, this alarm system beeping might have stopped.
My stepdad had a beep we had a smoke detector that had a setting to beep so you knew it was on, which a lot of them beep when the batteries are going dead.
Right.
You'd put fresh batteries and it would go beep every 50 seconds. And it was psychological warfare. Mm-hmm. And we were like, "You got to turn that off." And he was like, "Well, then how will we know?" And I was like, "When it turns on." But he wouldn't turn it off. So we had a beep in our house 30 years. 30 years. It would drive, new people would come over and they'd be like, "What is that?" And I would go, "It's our life." That's what it is.
Greg brings up an interesting idea though. Because you could have Lav's dog this, and you could start doing something in correspondence with the beep, and then you can train your brain to do that every time you hear a beep, which might be kind of cool going forward for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What kind of things do you suggest, maybe?
Well, that is up to you. I was thinking a push-up, just something healthy for you, or maybe just I guess a push-up. You're gonna need a lot of room all the time. Maybe like a phrase. Maybe you just go, "Man, I'm hulking out right now." So every time you hear a beep, you just say that.
What if every time it beeps, I just go beep, and then for the rest of my life, I'm that guy that whenever there's a beep, I say beep.
It's not bad, man.
I got crazy ones I've been trying on Tita. Every time she cries every time she sees ham. Just because every time we go to I go to a deli, I'll be like, "Remember your dog that died?" Like I just always bringing it up. And every time we get a ham sandwich, she'll just start crying. She says, "Why am I crying?" And I go, "Mental abuse, mental abuse." That's
not, I don't even know. Does that fall into the category of abuse? Because no one's hurt really there.
Well, yeah.
Yes, I'm going to interrupt you both. It certainly falls under the category of abuse. Tita is hurt there, Anthony. Greg has trained her to cry upon the sight of ham. So, yes, fully abuse.
I would argue two things. I thought about this when I tried, right? And the first one was like every time like someone laughs, I wanted her to get me like a coffee. But I was like, no, because then I'm winning, right? But with this, Tita doesn't show emotions, right? She's a solid work wall. So she only gets to cry when she sees ham. So that's how I'm kind of helping her psychologically with the ham cry.
I stand corrected.
So, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, too, it just makes her seem like she's so impassioned by ham. She's like a real Italian, you know. She's someone who cries at the sight of ham.
She loves the culture. She loves the culture, man.
She loves it so much.
Oh man, you guys got it. This is not worth bringing up, but you guys got somebody. I hate to even do it. Somebody tagged me. Usually I hate these, but somebody tagged me in. It was like a street fight, and it's this clearly 60-year-old Puerto Rican man who is like a dad, got into a fight with this kid on the street, and he's got all Puerto Rican flags on. And my God, if this guy doesn't look exactly like me, I gotta show you guys. I gotta see. And he's like overweight. And I saw this, I was offended, and I was like, I can't be offended at this. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't know why I should have brought you this. I shouldn't have brought this up. I should.
You must bring this up.
This sounds fun, man. There's been this guy. There's been a wanted poster in Astoria for a couple months since the pandemic started. And the poster is just a picture of a guy who looks exactly like me. And,
you?
Yes. It's tough to get around it because, he's a guy in a hood with a beard, and I don't know. I really think they're going to throw me in the slammer over this guy. But that's why I think I'm getting so involved in local politics, because if I can pick the correct judge, I can hopefully get a pardon.
I can't find this video. This is embarrassing.
Does anyone else's mom call them to tell them about when they're shopping for bras and panties?
No, my mom doesn't call me, and you know that.
No, not only do none of our moms call us to tell us about shopping for bras and panties, no one's mom calls them to.
Well, that's where you're wrong, Brendan.
One man's mom calls them to talk about bras and panties. You.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to make of it, because sometimes things will happen to me, and unless I take it to a group, I don't know that it's weird. But my mom, she just always tells me about that. It only struck me as odd the other day. I don't know why.
Here's the thing, right? And I don't, I'll tread lightly with this. I love your mom. You know that? I love her. Love her so much.
She sent you a text on your birthday.
She did? Yeah, she did. She was the first one. She was the first one, and I was like, this is the first mom to ever text me on my birthday. But anyway, I think that she doesn't have any girl friends. You're her best friend. So she forgets that sometimes you're her son.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You've muddled the waters where you're both best friends and mother and son. And so you get both ends of it, where it's, some of the friend stuff you don't want,
And let me ask you a question. I'm going to give you three choices with these little sausage fingers I got. Would you consider her more your mom, A, B, your friend? Which one is she more? Because I know she's also your friend. Or C, fill in a fun answer for yourself.
I kind of see her. I kind of see her as a wise old tree that I help out financially.
Why would a tree need money? You gotta get a tree. You pay it off a tree.
Better leaves. I don't know. A better view. I do see her more as a friend than I do as a mom. I mean, there are moments though when I'm like, oh, she's got those mom skills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think at some point that's like that for all sons, right?
Not so much friends. I don't think so much friends, but I do think at a certain point the caretaker-caretakey relationship switches. You know what I mean? That switches. But this calling to discuss bra and panty purchases, that's completely uncaretaker related. That's just that's friendship. You're a best girlfriend, you're
borderline assault. Borderline assault.
That's very much a ham crying Tita situation.
That's what you would call.
I think we've got on our hands.
You would call people to talk about your panties, I swear to God, to either your best friend or someone you're trying to fuck, but you're afraid to bring it up. We've been friends for too long, so I'm trying to slowly move it in the direction of sexual. You know what I mean? When it's I only get horny when I'm high, and then all of a sudden she's like, hey, I'm gonna get high now. And then you're just
right.
Like, where is this conversation going?
Yeah.
I think you're right. And I think as she's getting older in age, she's like, my chances are getting more limited. So now's the time.
I can't wait till she has dementia. That's the horrible thing to say. But I say that we get to find when she really goes for it, when she's just enough to
That's going to be tough.
Just starts fingers going up your arm.
Yeah, I am I'm gonna have quite a Me Too account on my hands.
Well, the problem is you're such a good son, and you always have been. You're kind of going to have to do it.
Yeah.
I know.
You know, like that's the problem. You're kind of, and you're going to have to talk to Julia and be like, look, it's my mom. I don't like it. I hate it. But, you know, I'm a good son. She needs me.
You bring up a great point, Brendan, which I'd like to explore. I don't think you need to have a conversation with your wife if the person you're fucking is your mom. I don't know why. I think we can figure that. I don't know why. I just feel like it's so much of a trump, you know? It's so much that I think you're allowed. Look, also, you're just visiting a place you've already been to. You know?
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like going to Epcot again. What's
Right.
changed since I was past here? No,
Yeah.
that's new.
Yeah.
Oh, all the world's children is running again. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I hate that I'm not quick with those things. Small World is back in order again.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Look, can I say this? I think All the World's Children was on the table. They just didn't go with it. So I don't think they're so far off. I just think it's just the name they didn't pick in the meeting.
Let me
It was
tell
one
you.
of the names.
Let me tell you. Everyone knew what you were talking about,
Yeah.
so I don't see any problem with it.
Yeah.
What are words but ways to convey meaning? And you conveyed it perfectly. Also, thank you for telling me I brought up a good point about mom fucking. And I think
Oh, you're a pinnacle. You got great jump shots on mom fucking conversations.
Yeah,
And
I think when history tells the story, you'll be one of the pioneers of this conversation.
thank you. Thank you.
Can I mention something when you're done?
Yes,
When
right
everyone's
now.
done?
I'm
Did you-
done.
Did you guys notice that Tita? Oh, you know Anthony. Tita does this every year for my birthday. She puts up a happy birthday streamers.
Yeah.
You know, like she always puts up like a big happy birthday banner, but then it's not. There's no party. But like she just puts up like these party things, but then there's no party. So then you just like sit there like a guy who had a party and no one came. You know, and it's every day. It's the nicest thing in the world. Like I'm just sitting here, like she just decorates the whole house like a party, but then just doesn't. There's no party. It's just, she does it for Anthony. She used to do it for James too. On their
Yeah.
birthday, she puts a big happy birthday, and you're like surprise. You're like, oh no, there's no party. This is just streamers.
Yeah. It's almost worse somehow because you're like, I know a party's supposed to be here, and one didn't show up. So now I'm more sad.
It feels like there was a party an hour ago, and you just
Yeah.
showed up late. It's like everyone left, but
Yes.
you know, there's some
That's-
cake in the fridge.
That's
It's
what.
like-
Yeah. Go ahead, Brendan.
It's like being at Chuck E. Cheese and all the lights are off, and the animal band. You can just tell they're fake now because they're just like the heads are hanging down. and
There's a
it's
guy
like,
working on his crotch,
yeah,
screwing it in.
yeah.
Ah,
There's nothing worse to me than when someone when someone assumes that fun is going to happen and they set up a room, they do everything for fun, and then fun was supposed to happen there, and then it doesn't.
yeah.
Man, that's why when a comedy club, it's just so many seats and they're all empty. That's what
Oh,
makes
right.
it so sad, because you're just like, they expected so many people to show up, and
Yeah.
nobody did.
This is just a little weird thing that I always love, and I'm sure you guys love it too. But my first time being in a comedy club after the show was done, this kind of happened when I was a door guy, but like all the club is gone, the show is over, we're sweeping up. There's always, I don't know if you have the same, it's like, it's the sign of a job done, you know, like for me, when I was a door guy, it was like, man, we just had a crazy show. It's done. We're all fucking tired. But as a comedian, it's still there too. It's like, oh man, we just had 4 shows, weekend's over. You're sitting with the wait staff, having like a piece of cake or some shit. You know that feeling? I love that. Even when you go into a club and then, you know?
It's the best, man, dude. Especially when you're friends with the staff. Like they always hang out after at the St. Louis Funny Bone and Go Bananas in Cincinnati. Go Bananas in Cincinnati is crazy because I think everyone who works there goes home, and it's just the local open mic comics who are allowed to lock up. So it's just a crazy party. But I love that feeling where you're like, we did it, guys. We really did it. You know, we sold 30 tickets.
Yeah. 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 Or like even after like a barbecue, you know, when the thing's all done and you're like, we had a killer barbecue. Let's clean this thing up. Go to bed. Let's clean it up in the morning. I look at Tina, I go, let's clean this thing up in the morning. And she goes, yeah, no, we're going to clean it up now.
Yeah.
We have to clean it up. She won't let that shit stand overnight. Are you crazy? No, she goes, yeah, I know, I get it, but we're gonna get a garbage bag. Happy birthday.
Oh man. Yeah, I did one of these I did that I tell you guys I did one of the outdoor comedy shows like last week, I think, where I thought it was so funny because they still had rules. It was like hilarious to me. Like they were like the host was like just whatever you do, don't bring up this.
What?
I was like, bring up what?
And he was like,
well, don't bring up that we're outdoors, that we're in a diner parking lot, that you're gonna pretty much doing comedy to a fleet of cars who they can't laugh. Instead, they flash their lights. And for God's sakes, don't let them honk. Those were his words.
Oh man, that's great.
It was unbelievable. That in this.
What does
world,
"don't let them honk" mean though? You run over to the car. Stop! Put your hands down. No honking.
This was the
No
best. He goes,
honking.
yeah. Don't let them honk because it makes too much noise. But it's it was in the middle of Queens. You know what I mean? It's like there's sirens going by. There's people screaming. It was just so funny to me that like even in COVID-19 world of comedy, there's still strange rules. You know what I mean?
There's still people trying to hold on to power that they can't control. Hey, this is how I want this to go. Well, you have no choice. You have no choice. I can't. Don't do material about Obama. What? I'm in a parking lot at a Bel Air diner. There's a waitress slinging chicken pot pie to a window. This is stupid. I hate my life. I'm going to kill myself. My rule is I won't kill myself in the middle of my show.
I don't have that rule. If you come see me, it's a 50-50. But that's crazy to be like, don't address that it's outside. Because it's like, do you think these people think they might be inside? Like, are we keeping a secret from them? Like, do you think they're under, like, they think they're in a comedy club right now? So I got to just not mention that they're in their fucking cars, like a drive-in movie theater?
I want to address that we're outside. If you don't address that I'm in rollerblades wearing a tutu. Okay? This is just what we are now.
It's so funny. And the host was like, all right, like, whatever you do, guys. He was like talking to the cars. It's just cars that he's talking to. It's people inside their cars. He's like, all right, guys, whatever you do, don't honk. And then proceeded to scream a story about how his grandmother died during COVID-19.
Oh, my God. Yeah. I guess you haven't buried enough people. That's my favorite line. I guess you haven't buried enough people to know about COVID. Okay, pal. Listen, all right? Let me do my thing. I'm not wearing a mask. I wear a mask just to be sure everyone knows I am wearing a mask constantly, and I won't stop wearing a mask because I like the privacy and I like the feel on my face. So when this thing's over, I'm still wearing my mask.
Yeah,
just letting you know, I love them.
I smear hot fudge on the inside of mine, and I'm looking in there all day.
Nobody knows. I'm in all seriousness, I'm sort of stuck out here because it's like everything was kind of going down and they were like, open back up. And I was like, I need money. Like, I definitely need money. I got to take these gigs. They're open. The states are open. It's safe. And like midway through the week, it was like, oh, these states are spiking. It is insane. And I just out here like, oh, well, I can tell you why they're spiking. I was in the club. I know what's happening here. Nobody here thinks it's a real thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's I think
the best. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know. I might be hesitant to go back on the road for a little bit because I was. It's just I don't know.
Anthony, or were you pointing at me?
That's kind of fun. I didn't even think about that.
Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, now I forgot it because then I got distracted by the idea of pointing to you every time. I
thought you did. You were looking right at me.
I don't know. Yeah, it's hard with gallery mode to know where I'm at. How you gonna believe in? Man, something about. How you gonna believe in God but not COVID-19? What's up?
I love that. What's up? Yeah, I also am probably not gonna go on. I kind of am regretting this. Going on the road next week because they are starting to spike now again, and I don't want to be part of that. But also, like, I can't fill out that I can't turn down work because of unemployment. I guess I have to lie. But I think I figured out the way to get around. Brendan, this is a solution for you. because I know what you were. I think you were saying this on the phone. I'm not sure if this is what you were alluding to in where you are. Is that they're not wearing masks, so then you wear one, and they kind of look at you like you're the outsider, pussy, coward, crazy person.
Yeah.
The solution to that is to go back to Anthony. I'm sorry you don't know about this. This was on your absent episode. You got to go back to my boy Crazy Jack. Crazy Jack used to wear a Barney costume he would wear a Barney costume and rollerblades to Harvest Fest every year and then not take pictures with children. So he was only wearing it for himself. So what I think everyone needs to be doing is wearing cosplay outfits. So when they go,
Right.
oh, you a coward wearing a mask? No, I'm always dressed like Honey Bear from the cereal box.
Yeah.
He's my favorite guy.
Yeah. Oh, look at you, coward. Oh, you mean Sub-Zero? You idiot.
I'm into cosplay.
This is part of my act, you dummy. I've been doing this for years. I've been the Sub-Zero comic. It has nothing to do with Corona. I don't care about Corona.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Also, it's like Halloween is just around the corner, and I'd like to do a trial run for my costume.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to spend a day in it, get to know it. That way, when the Halloween comes around, I'm moving swift out there, house to house to house. A lot of candy.
I do wonder if you can get around wearing a mask if you just wear stilts. You know, if you're higher, if you're above COVID.
6 feet.
You know what I mean? Well, you have to be like just 12 feet high. You know what I mean? If you just walk around stilts so you don't look like a fool because you don't want to wear a mask, you'll be mad tall. I don't know who we should. You know who we should ask? Denzel Washington, because that guy knows because he's flying
he's
around.
up in the air.
Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah.
If you're not a Patreon subscriber, Denzel Washington can fly. Don't
Do your
worry about it.
research.
Do your research.
people. Do your research.
And it's also
Anthony.
something I think you kind of knew already. Everyone's talking about social distancing, but horizontally. No one is thinking about it vertically. You're right,
Yes.
correct. Yes, you just need to be 6 feet in any direction. If you can get yourself up there, I think that's the move.
Well, hold on though.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the only problem. You're safe. The people below you are not necessarily safe because coughs and spit go down. So you are safe. Nothing's going up.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not really protecting anyone below you.
You wear a dress like a tutu that comes out.
Right, there you
know
go.
what I mean? So that people can also see up your dress. That adds to their pleasure. And two, when your cough comes down, it'll get caught in the dress. You just have to make it out of filters.
Right. Perfect. Well, you can have a 6 foot on every side, so they can't come within 6 feet of you.
Or do what I do is you just get so much Botox in your bottom lip that shit comes out real far, and when you cough, the lip catches it. I've been doing Botox like crazy lately,
We should
guys.
start doing Botox.
I love it.
think it's so funny to let's just start doing Botox, man. Get that shit tight.
Dude, I've been doing it for like the past 6 years. People don't notice because I'm so ugly everywhere else on my body that you don't notice the improvements on my lips. I just like the feeling of it, and I'm in love with my doctor who does it because he's like super smooth and cool, and I'm always like, hey man, and he's like, the lips are looking a little, and I go, I know, I'm here for my re-up, and then he'll boop boop shoots me, and I get Botox every 6 weeks.
That's where the
It looks
Patreon money's
good.
going.
What?
It looks good. It looks good. My uncle, he had to have his ears sewed to his head. That was the original Botox. Back before they could tighten you up,
Yes.
they just said, sew it back. Sew it back.
I don't know if I want to put somebody, but one of my friends or family members had big ears growing up, and his whole thing is that they wanted to sew his ears back. But I used to always say, dude, no one notices, and you're fine. And now you don't even know that he's got big ears. He's like a killer.
Oh, no. My uncles were straight out. They were vertical. They were just straight horizontal ears out from the side of his head. They sewed it right back.
Who's that prince who's got that look? There's a prince of England. He's got them ears that go like.
Oh, Charles.
Charles. Oh yeah, that guy's a fool. That guy's a fool.
Yeah, my whole family, they all had nose jobs except my mom. So I was confused about our noses growing up. I remember that.
What do you mean you were confused about your noses?
Well, because I didn't realize that like half of my family had nose jobs. Like Anne Marlene, Michelle, Bev, and Midge all got nose jobs, but my grandma and my mom didn't. So it was very confusing for me growing up as like the two options in terms of like what a nose was going to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I have a thing, Anthony. This is kind of related to your joke, but I'm wondering if I could play a prank on my nephews where I go get a nose job, but I'll ask them and be like, I'll just go to like one in China and be like, give me the usual here, you know? So I'll get like a Chinese person nose, right?
Yeah.
And then like 2 years later, I'll get my eyes done and be like, give me a Chinese people eye. And then my niece and nephew, who are half Asian, might start to think that people become Asian, kind of like your joke. You know, it's like, oh, when you get older, you become different races. This is a throwback to Anthony's joke again. I didn't make this up, but I think it could be a fun bit when people start realizing I'm starting to look like my Asian. They also would be worried, like, he married an Asian woman. Is he trying to be Asian? That could be fun.
I'll tell you, when you get to full Asian, you're going to look great. But that time spent in between, when you're turning into Asian, you're going to look weird.
Yeah. What also could be fun is if I pay for double and get Tita to get an Italian nose, and they just think, like, are they switching noses? Did they wake up one day? Is this like a Freaky Friday show where they become the other's race? That could be a fun gag to play on my niece and nephew.
It's also crazy because, like, ethically, they wouldn't do it. Like, doctors wouldn't do it. They wouldn't give you Asian eyes, right? You'd have to find someone illegal. And that's crazy because it's like, there's that man that made himself into a tiger. Yeah. And you're telling me you can't do Asian eyes? Like,
That's not true, though, Brendan. I hate to be this, but in Asia, they will give you white people eyes.
Yeah,
not even in Asia. They here. Like,
yeah,
Asian
no,
people
you can
do this. They
right.
do there's an underlid thing that Tita was being pressured by her friends to get. She was like, "Nah, I'm proud of my heritage, and I hate white motherfuckers."
Yeah, no, it's a double standard. They won't go the other way. That's what makes me furious.
Really? Can we call someone?
I've tried. I've called everyone in the book, my friend.
We should get them on a Zoom call and see if they'll do it for us.
Because I tried to get one eye, go Forrest Whitaker, and nobody was having it.
Hang on a second. I think something bad is happening.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Talk. Hey, are we okay? Is everyone okay? I just got 3 texts. One from Joe saying you're alive.
This is
Greg's got a family emergency. Yeah.
So much intrigue on the line, man. It's so difficult.
It's difficult. Go ahead.
Dumb idea I was gonna say.
I'm so sorry. No, I got 3 texts from my dad, my brother, and my sister, all saying, "Are you alive?" So I thought something terrible was happening. My sister, what are you talking about?
You thought you died.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't
God, have I died? It's the same shit with those guys. You know that whole thing now where the telemarketers call you from a number, like one number off from your own number.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be like, oh, hold on a second, I better get this. It might be me calling.
Let me see what I want.
Yeah.
That's gotta be tough. This was gonna say about plastic surgery. Are doctors just allowed to be subjective? Like, if I went to a doctor and I was like, hey, you know what, make my nose bigger. Yeah. Like, would they be like, man, you're gonna look gross?
Yeah.
What's the line with that?
I don't know if that stands. Like, they're not allowed to do stuff like cut a leg off if you don't like it, but they are allowed to cosmetically make your nose look better. But I mean, but subjectively, you can say, no, I think this looks better. I want this.
Yeah.
Who are they to say?
Right.
Well, lots of people look worse with plastic surgery, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Maybe they should do a focus group or something. There's got to, because you're putting a lot in the doctor's hands just to be like, all right, let's scoop out most of your nose and see what happens.
Did you ever hear the story about, Anthony, who's the girl who looks like Julia and is a famous actress? She was in Dirty Dancing.
Kathryn Hahn.
No,
Jennifer Grey.
Jennifer Grey. Did you know why Jennifer Grey's career pretty much plummeted?
Yeah, her nose. Yeah,
she got a nose job, and it's nice. She looks good, but no one recognized her anymore, and she couldn't get movie roles anymore. Isn't that crazy?
That's ridiculous.
That's never happened to me with all the Botox I'm getting. People just give me more and more.
Yeah, but Greg, lots of times, Greg fills in for Christian Slater.
More times than once. Twice.
They have to throw him off set, but they pay him.
Dude, yeah. I always wondered sometimes when we think about this podcast and if we ever get canceled for the crazy things we say. Like, I always want them to be like, hey, Greg said something racist on episode 205. And then I want to go, yeah, in episode 207, I said, I get Botox 50 times a day. And then I also said that Denzel Washington can fly. So what are you taking? What information are you taking and what information are you... Yeah. What are you putting in you? You know what I mean? If you walk into a room and there's a million knives, you can't complain about one knife. So you're in a knife house.
Yeah, man.
That was a great analogy.
No, but you eat 1,000 Snickers bars, you're gonna get a tummy ache. You know what you're putting in your.
Also, not a great analogy.
It's true.
Thank you, Room.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Room saw it, man. He's got
Factual.
vision.
A true statement doesn't
your
make a
research,
good
man. Come on.
analogy. Yeah, you know what they say about horses? Big cocks. That's not a good analogy. That's just a thing.
That's what they say.
It's what they say.
But that is what they say.
They do be saying that, man.
They do
No,
be.
I think I'm saying what Greg is saying. Greg is saying that, man, like you eat McDonald's once again. I'm just going to say something that Brendan calls a fact, but where I come from, these are called analogies.
Sure.
You eat McDonald's, man, you know what you're getting into. That's what Greg is saying.
Let me add to that McDonald's analogy. I think the argument is if you walk into McDonald's and you said chicken McNuggets are bad for you, you go, yeah, you're in McDonald's. All of this is bad for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to complain one thing, you got to complain about all of it. You know what you did when you got in here. Okay.
Yes.
It's people saying things that make no sense and are just crazy.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't going to be racist because words are words, and you just put them in a soup, then you're going to spell things that don't make sense.
Yeah. And if you really want to cancel us, I would suggest being a $15 donor, because that's more episodes for you to sift through to find more volatile material that we've done.
But isn't that the reality? The reality is if the only way to cancel us or me, I don't know, I don't want to speak for everybody, is to stop paying for the Patreon. Because if I can't pay, the only way, I'm going to do this forever, no matter what. The only way to stop it is to stop paying for me to be able to do it. And then if you do that, whatever. So don't tweet about me. Just don't pay for the Patreon.
Hey,
You know
what?
what I mean?
Man, we're the only self-canceling podcast. You know what, Greg? You're right. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, I might cancel myself because I get bored.
I think that's the move.
You know?
That's how you get ahead of the game. You cancel yourself.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, guys,
Yeah.
don't worry. I'm canceled. No worries.
I've got this one.
Yeah, this is why I'm not on SNL. I'm not going to apply for SNL because of the things I said. I'm going to take that to everyone because of the things I said. Hey, Rumi, can I ask you a question, or are you off? I don't know if you're online right now.
Sure, I'm online.
Cool. Have you heard? You've heard of these surgeries, right? The Asian people like trying to like doing
That's
those
like
things.
it's a Thailand thing specifically too, right? I think they'll do anything in Thailand.
Yeah, they will do anything.
Yeah.
Is it not? It's not a San Fran thing.
No, it's not so much Japanese. That's like a Thai Korean thing, I think.
Oh, maybe even more Korean because he doesn't have.
Oh
any
yeah,
Thai
the
friends.
Koreans.
The Koreans love doing wacky stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, they love it.
Ooh.
They've got
Koreans love
they've got
doing
the
wacky
best
stuff.
face masks in the world, though. I'll tell you that much. You get a face mask from Korea, you come out looking 37 years younger.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, they sell these. My friend brought me back this face mask.
Zero.
They're big into
Yeah.
they're big
They're
into
big
face masks.
You're
And
talking about like the creams. You're not talking about like for breathing and COVID.
Yes.
no, I'm talking about the creams. Yeah,
Yes.
like, but it's
Oh, I
like
didn't get
it's more like almost like a moist towelette that turns into a cream, and these things will refresh you. Like, I mean, I had one of these things. I said I got to order 1,000 because this just made my skin. I didn't even know my skin was a problem until I had one of these Korean face masks.
You know what's kind of funny to what you're saying is if you go to a tanning salon, they can only do so much before it's blackface. You know what I mean? So like they're like, we can only give you 1 to 7, but 8 you're going to be canceled because it's too close to you looking like you put face paint on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I
How
don't
often
think.
can you go tanning?
Here's the thing. The kind of guy that owns a tanning salon is the kind of guy that's going to a Halloween party in blackface in this day and age. So he's not putting any restrictions on it. You know what I mean? He owns a tanning salon. He's not on the forefront of political correctness. You know what I mean? Like he'll go, you want the black setting? Go ahead.
I also think that's how people will be like, man, these tanning salons are being politicized. You know what I mean? They'll be like, over at our tanning salon, we go up to 8. We don't care. Right? We're not worried.
I want to argue against you, Anthony. I want to say that your beard and eyebrows are so bushy, you're almost in blackface. That beard is almost 70% of your face. Dude, if that thing starts to creep up here, you're in trouble. You better trim them eyebrows, Eugene Levy.
Moira. I don't know, Moira. That's a good idea, Moira. Okay. Yeah, no, I was always worried. Would you guys always get worried? I would always get worried. They don't really do the Weekly World News anymore, huh?
I've never heard of it. I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know what you mean.
Okay.
Hook, line, sinker. He got us.
No, it's real.
I'm a fish in the ocean. Reel me in. Reel me in. I'm ready.
The Weekly World News, I guess it doesn't run anymore. It was a very, very famous publication that just ran wild, outright lies.
It was with the National Enquirer. It was one of those, yeah.
Mainly like Wolf Boy, Bat Kid stuff. But what was so fun is that they had to fill up a whole newspaper. So what you saw on the front page was the best story.
Yes.
But if you went in deep on some of the Weekly World News stuff,
the layups they were going for.
They were going for some stuff that was just like, guy has sex with a speedboat in the open waters and has a boat child. Because I remember my mom would let me. I just thought they were so funny. My mom would let me get them. So there was like a brief time I read them. That was like my only news source for a little while when I was a kid.
Fantasy news. That's what they should call it. Fantasy news. Does liquid becomes gas, or does it? What are you doing here? I don't know.
It's funny though. I bet like there's probably one story in there back in the day that said like, "There's this guy Jeffrey Epstein. You're not going to believe what he's doing. Keep an eye on this guy."
Yeah.
Well, that's the fun thing of like, there's a guy who's like really knows crazy shit about the government, and he's like, oh, the only way I'll be able to get in this is to get into the crazy papers, and then maybe they'll eventually promote me to somewhere else. Like, that's your only. Isn't that how Men in Black figured out who aliens were? The crazy papers.
Yes, the tabloids. No, this is where you get the real news, he said. Yeah. And that's what's so funny is like, I think that's part of the government's protection against like any of their secrets is that there's so many conspiracy theorists making up shit that like any guy that's got a real info, he doesn't get through because it's just like, shut up making the thing up about that because I actually saw an alien, but now no one believes me because you say you're married to one, you know? Like,
yeah. Good point, Brennan. I wouldn't be surprised if the Weekly World News was government funded.
Yeah.
I'm not married to an alien, but I am married to a dog, if you know what I'm talking about. She's a real bitch. A real bow wow. She'll bite you.
Bow chicka wow wow.
She'll bite you unless you get a newspaper, hit her in the face.
Is she at home? Is she in the next?
She's right next to me. She's right next to me, furious. She's just doing this the whole time. That's how every podcast for the past 3 years, she sits next to me and just goes, "Fuck you, you bad husband. Fuck you and your Botox and your bullshit head. Your dick looks like Richard Henry Ford."
Man. Sorry.
What happened to Brendan's lights?
End of that comment.
It got dark. A storm came, I think, and I was cleaned up with some good daylight coming in. Now the storm's coming, and I don't know where the light switches are in this condo. That's the thing. You go to a comedy condo, you got to find everything. A hotel, I know what's happening in a hotel. A comedy condo, I got to find. I went down to where the headliner stays in this condo. It's like a suite in the basement. No bed. So just no one told me that. The rooms have been rearranged. So now I got to go and decide which one's the better room because, of course, that's what I'm getting. But the main room is gone. They just took out a bed. So, I mean, these things, you never know what you're getting here.
I'll tell you this. If I'm the feature, I'm stealing a bed. So I know what happened there. You know? It's like I got to buy a new bed. No, I'm going to go to the comedy condo. No one's going to notice. I'm just going to take the bed and the mayonnaise.
I honestly think they might have taken out the bed because it's too close to the beeping noise, and no one could sleep there.
Anthony, you were lined up to say something. I saw you, but you missed it. Ooh, let me do that with your hands. It makes you think like you're thinking.
Yeah, I am thinking, but I forget what it was. That's okay. I don't think it was terribly important. I've gotten a lot out today.
Are you worried about your face turning black because of the hair?
No, I'm not. I was very worried when I first started getting very hair. I was worried that I was going to become one of those like wolf boy types. I
mean,
I still don't think I'm out of the woods yet.
You're not out of the woods. You're in the middle of the woods, and there's hunters looking for you because you look like a wolf boy. Him have one of the most distinguishedly crazy face beards, hair, and those eyebrows, Eugene Levy. You gotta get a lawnmower on those things. You gotta call an Italian landscaper to pull a truck up to your head.
It really is not a good look if you're not famous. You know what I mean?
No, you're a handsome guy.
You're a
He's very
handsome
hairy.
guy, but let me tell you, when I get you obviously do a beard trim, right?
Yes, I haven't for. I'd say this is about a week and a half without a trim.
And,
Maybe
but
a week.
and when you trim, do you do the neck a little bit? You do the neck too?
I didn't used to, but I got some complaints, so I started doing the neck.
Okay, well let me give you a little tip. What I do,
Mainly everyone.
not only do I do the neck, Anthony, I
Yeah.
do a little rectangle here and here. So I bring it down a notch. I think you should bring it down a notch. You're running too high with that thing.
Yeah.
That thing's running too high up your face.
Yeah,
Dude,
no,
do
it
a
is.
chin strap and a thin guy over the lips. You know, like do it like
Yeah.
like what was his name? G-Sauce. Blah. No one knows who
Ruggiero?
Brian Ruggiero is.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You know them white guys used to hang out with the rappers and wear Echo
Yes.
Unlimited shirts.
Yes.
You gotta do that. Do the Vanilla Ice for one day, just for me.
I'll do like John B. I'll do a
John B.
thin. Man, I think his name was John B.
He was R&B.
singer.
Yeah.
You look up John
Dude, I'll
B.
do it for you.
He had a tight line. Yeah, there was really not a lot of options. I always thought that was so funny that any like white guy who really wanted you to understand that they were a part of the black community, they all followed the same option. I
Yeah.
always think that it was so funny to me that it's like, this is the best that we've got as white guys. It's a
Yeah.
very, very chin strap beard. And that's
Yeah.
the best we can offer right now. We're working on with something more better than this.
We've got our best scientists on the job, but for right now, this is it. It's a chin strap beard and a FUBU shirt. And
Flat brim hat.
we talk in an insulting way.
Good at basketball.
Yeah.
Great at basketball.
We're very good at basketball. We're working on it. We can't say we're not working on it. We're working
The
on it.
only-
That's all
Do
we
your
have.
research.
The only guys like that I respect are the naturals. You know what I mean? They're not
I
trying,
know what
like
you mean. Yes.
like the Jason Williams of the world,
Yes.
where it's just like, oh, he just grew up in a black school and is
Yeah.
amazing at basketball. He talks that way naturally, he's not trying to be black or anything like that. He's just fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Wall.
Yeah.
Paul Wall.
Yeah.
Great example. An underrated name for rap. Paul Wall.
Yeah. It rhymes. The whole
People's
thing
champ.
rhymes.
Yeah.
Sick
Yeah.
Rick.
Yeah.
Like the egg.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta-
Anthony the chrysanthemi.
Brendan, he's sending what? A package.
Watch your emails.
A package to your girl, dog. All right, I got to call it a day, man. I got to use the bathroom real bad.
All right.
Okay.
Are we there? Are we
Yeah,
done? All right.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Is that all right?
Is today Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a
All right.
freebie.
I'm
The
gonna
free
get my
jammer.
plug.
Oh, nice.
All right, Thursday, I'm going to be at Comics in Mohegan Sun. Thursday through Saturday, Comics Roadhouse in Mohegan Sun, Connecticut. I don't know if you should come out. If you want to come out, I guess. If you were going out anyway, come out to that. If you don't, I don't know, man. Or if you want to just meet me, you can just message me. I don't know, man. You can send me
I'll
20
be
bucks.
at the Looney Bin in Little Rock, Arkansas, tomorrow through Saturday. Same thing Greg said. If you're going out anyway, come.
Yeah, I will be at the Comedy Connection July 17th through the 18th. So, I mean, by then the virus should be gone, so I wouldn't even worry.
Completely.
Plus, I'll be
but,
on stilts.
Yeah.
yeah. The shows, from what I understand, at least right now, they're going to be outdoors, and I think like only 75 people or whatever. So it seems, whatever, but also don't go.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, also,
Yeah.
I have a new podcast I need to promote.
no.
Denzel Can Fly. It's a podcast where we deep dive into the truth that Denzel Washington can fly and why the government is hiding that from us. TuneIn.com.
Do your research.
Do your research.